Hello, welcome to ALM for You. My name is Jagmohan Singh Chawla and I'm a product manager with SAP Cloud ALM. And welcome to this episode on what's new with our latest release yesterday on 16th November 2022. So let's get started. We delivered many innovations and they are listed here on the screen and we'll go through them one by one shortly. But very quickly, I think the main addition is the on-premise content support. So on-premise content is available from the Activate perspective in terms of roadmaps, as well as from a process perspective in terms of BPMN diagrams. And we'll go through all of them one by one. So let's start with the Activate roadmap content. Okay, I'm logged on to the SAP Cloud ALM tenant and I'll start with the projects and setup, and I'll start by creation of a new project. And if you remember in our last video, I explained that we changed the label from task template to SAP task template. And then with this shipment, you will see some new roadmaps now being available. That means I, as a project lead, can really now use SAP Cloud ALM to manage my on-premise implementation, and not just a new implementation, but also system conversion and selective data transition. Please do use these roadmaps and happy to hear your feedback. Okay, let's move on to the next enhancement, which is the availability of process content for on-premise. So I'm in my manage scope application, and when I create a new scope and I look at the list of solution scenarios, then I'll see a new entry for SAP best practices for SAP S4HANA. And this is the on-premise content. That means if you are using on-premise systems, even then SAP Cloud ALM can give you huge value. Just a small point which you may see, that the on-premise content will follow a different content version. Okay. Now let's talk about the third enhancement, which is the new order in Activate template selection. So I'm again on the create project screen, and if you notice, then first of all, the order is different. Okay, and also the naming convention is there so that you somewhere have a grouping that the same product lines are shown together, which makes it just easier to find these roadmaps. Now let's talk about the next enhancement, which is the global added in feature management or feature creation. So let's start with a feature, and if you notice carefully, then you will see this added option, which was not there earlier. Earlier, all these assignment options were there at table, and even in the display mode, you could do some assignments and even save, but that made it somewhere hard to use. Now it's much simpler. Once you open the global added, then each feature, all these sections, then they can have these editable options. You can, let's say, assign transports, or you can assign user stories. And once you are done, then you can just click on save to stay in the edit mode, or save and close to go back to the display mode. Now let's talk about the enhancements in analytics. And let's start with the first report, feature traceability. If you are using this report, then you will know that this is a nice way to track the life cycle of a feature and also the associated status of the requirements attached. But when the feature list grows and when features are distributed across requirements, this was becoming a bit hard. And now we have an additional group by option. So you can group this by requirement. And as you see, this makes my job as a deployment lead much easier, because I can find the features for specific requirements, and also I can easily identify which features have no requirement assigned. So hope you like this. And now let's talk about another enhancement, which is in the requirement traceability report. Here there is one new option which is added as assignee, because again, as the requirement list grows and the requirements, as you know, can be distributed among persons, teams, and you may want to quickly see where your requirement is and who is working on that. So you can just click on these filter options, enable this assignee, and that just gives you a way to find your requirements assigned to a specific person. Now I'm back in task management, and let's talk about an enhancement, which is some small change in your history, but we hope it makes your life easier to quickly send an email. So if I open my history panel, then the difference is all these names, they have now this mail to tag embedded. So if I click on that, then my email application will be launched, and then I'll be able to send an email about the task which I'm seeing to any specific person. So let's do that. So now I clicked on this, and now my default application is Outlook, and here you can see it has already put from, as well as put the to, and as well as put the unique link to the task. So whoever gets the email will also get the link to the task, and that we hope is convenient. Okay, the remaining two enhancements are in tag management. So if you're not using tags, you'll even find this more valuable. So let's create a project task, and maybe this project task is, let's say, really important, and I call this really important, and I don't want to miss this task in so many other tasks which I have. And one of the option is I can add a tag. So I really am in a hurry, and I say really important, and save it. So my hope is that I can next time use the tag search and find it easily. And the same is done by a lot of users, and you can imagine that this even has a typo. This is it's difficult to use, and it has no convention. And then project lead comes and asks me, do you really think this tag name was a good idea? And I say, actually you are right, but now I have used it, what can I do? So that's what you can do. We have now enabled this tag management edit mode, in which we can go, and you see this is the tag that I created, real imp, and I can go into the edit mode, and I can say, you know what, actually I should have named with a name value pair and said importance high. Now it's kind of more readable, and the best part is I don't need to update the task. The task is already updated with the new tag. So let's check that quickly. I go back to my task list and search for my task. Really important. Yes, it is really important. That's fine. But is my tag updated? Great. So my tag is already updated. But we have done one step further. We have added this change in the history. So if you go to the history, then you can see that someone changed the name of the tag from something to something, and now this reflects in the task. So that's why it's no surprise to the consumer of this information, because they may be used to certain tags and which they don't find suddenly because they are renamed. Then they can always refer the history. So hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you are new to the channel, please make sure you click on like and subscribe, and also share this in your networks. Thanks and have a great day. Stay tuned. Bye bye.